Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monkey Flip Podcast. Another episode of the Monkey Flip Podcast coming at you. We're not we didn't do one. We used to do it once a week. We're doing it every other week now. We've got some other commitments we want to be able to allow us to have and give us a little time in the order of wrestling today. Everything is kind of the same, so we're trying to get a little time for something more interesting to happen. Maybe something more to talk about. I mean, for instance, I turned on Raw, and it was 20 minutes into Raw, and I was like, did I pick the wrong one out of the list? Am I watching last week's? Because it was the same thing, and it wasn't even a joke. I was literally going, did I pick the wrong one? Because it just felt like the week before. It's the same stuff happening all the time. I mean, with the exception of a major shakeup, like now we're throwing Rey Mysterio in Hell in the Cell, and they built that up really quick to get it going, and okay, I don't mind Ray in there, Hell in a Cell. But I will say, if there's anybody that's going to stop this whole Roman Reigns story, it's not going to be fucking Rey Mysterio. No. So it's going to be a good match, but it's what it is. We know that Rey Mysterio is not walking out the champion. Maybe he will. Maybe
we've thought that before. Yeah. We also thought he wasn't going to walk out missing an eye, but he did.
That's true. He's like, there's no way they're going to say he's missing an eye. They can't call us that stupid. And they're like, he's missing an eye. And there's no way they're going to make Seth Rollins eat some pea soup and spit it out like he vomited. And then they made Seth Rollins eat some pea soup, spit it out like he vomited. So yeah, anything can happen. That's cool. Well, we're getting it started a little bit later today. We had a little bit of a transportation problem. Tell us about it, Hammer.
Well, I legit, when I sent you that message, here's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Bill's going, this dude's never on time. Why is he even telling me?
I said that. I knew it. Yeah. I was like, this is not hammered on standard time. It's fine. He's got 45 minutes still. It's good.
You see, then I made the first mistake, and that was my mistake.
Yeah.
Everything else was God.
Yeah.
He did the rest of the stuff.
Right. Or the Department of Transportation, either one.
Yeah. God.
Okay.
He's working on a Sunday.
Gosh, all glory and blame up to him. Got you.
He's got to give him permission to work on Sunday.
That's true. That's true.
But I ended up, like I was telling Jeremy, when you're looking down at your GPS, which I don't normally need GPS to get here, but when every road is not a road you've ever been on that you have to come.
Right.
When you're looking down and it says you'll be there in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And you look down again and it says you'll be there in 34 minutes. It's very disheartening.
It's like, is this in reverse? What's going on?
And I'm going through towns that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I'm turning left on roads I always turned right on before.
Right.
Because I'm that far out of my way.
Yeah, banjo music playing lightly in the background. Yeah.
I was very free. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, I'm not making fun of you. I just thought it'd be very funny to hear you talk about it. So yeah, and really, we got to have something to talk about because I got fucking nothing for wrestling. I can say that AEW is becoming my favorite thing to watch, which when you have NXT and you've got Raw and you got SmackDown, you got 9 hours worth of shit on WWE, and AEW's coming in and making me feel better about watching than anything. Like Miro was on, and they've turned Miro into what Miro should be.
They listened.
Just a monster who goes in, does what he get rid of the fucking video gaming gimmick. He's a monster. He comes in, he kicks ass, he takes names, he looks badass while doing it, and he's a heel enough to make you interested. Right. I watched during picture-in-picture the Miro match, which tells you how into that I was. Because picture-in-picture to me is the chance to exercise this thumb, which is a little fast-forward button, unless Hulu doesn't let you do the fast-forward shit, even though you pay for no commercials. Sorry. Wait, that was Hulu, YouTube and Hulu, were they?
I don't.
No? Okay, cool. We're gonna fuck you, Hulu.
NBC and Hulu. I think NBC and Hulu.
Know. Technically, Disney owns the vast majority of
everything.
Yes, of Hulu now because when they bought Fox, they bought the Fox share of Hulu.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom, something itched. I lifted up my nutsack and it said property of Disney.
So I suppose ABC. Disney is more of an owner of, and Fox would be more of the owner than
NBC is
Peacock.
Yeah,
the cock. It's on the cock.
It's on the cock. That's right.
That's one thing I did want to ask you about. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, that's okay. That's I was just gonna say that's something that my mom will be proud of when she listens to the podcast.
Look at my little girl.
Has the cock.
Look at my little girl talking about the cock. That's awesome. All right. What's up?
Baby Rock. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. I really liked it.
And I realized I said Baby Rock, but
It's cool. Young Rock, I got you.
And they got picked up for another season. That's
Good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, anything that we can do to stop talking about wrestling. So, yeah.
That's kind of wrestling, though.
It is
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
kind of,
wrestling.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
The Rock.
you know. So and it's also the reason every time they talk about the head of the table, I'm like, Rock, what?
Yeah, that one I don't get.
Is Rock not showing up to the table? I don't get.
Man.
Well, and Alpha and Seeker are still there, too. So
That's true. That's true.
that's the head of the table.
So there's no grandfather's table. That's not the way that goes. It's kids' table when you graduated. Shut the fuck up.
Take off of his bib.
Shouldn't have drank that in the middle of the thing, but yeah. So yeah, AEW's becoming my favorite thing.
SmackDown's mine.
Yes, absolutely.
SmackDown's working for me in a reverse way. Yeah, you ever had a neck burp? I just had a neck burp. There you go.
Drink.
Yeah, it's the snacks we tried earlier. Check that video out. Like and subscribe. You know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like it's a reverse way. It's something we talked about on the show before. I'm not going to go too much unless you guys want to go into too much, and I'll just let you talk, which is fucking novel, isn't it? So it's something that I've said for a long time. Nobody tells a story in the ring anymore. They tell a story in backstage.
Right.
They bring it into the ring. You see the same old shit, right? Everybody's going super kick, super kick, super kick. Done. There's no story coming out of the ring. And the Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns thing is compelling. It's good, especially with Roman Reigns coming in and matter of fact saying logical things, not something that somebody has written to be cliche. It's
Like, now you're opening up the show. You was main event last week.
you're jerking the curtain now.
Right.
You were the main event. I built you up, and now you're wanting to go back to there. And then when he called him Jimmy, I was like, oh damn, that's gonna because you know that's shit that they had done like for real. It'd be like, all right, Jimmy, you know I'm Jay, mother. You know my Jay. I'm Jay Oos. Anyway.
Oos.
Yeah, and I really like the intensity that Otis is showing for being a bad guy. A legit come in, destroy shit, take names, break ribs, and go home.
I like they were able to make
that
him that intense from the joke he kind of
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
The shit to shave the beast.
Yeah, no,
But-
she's not. I've shaved it.
Well, yeah, it's pretty good, and it gives an offshoot to Chad Gable's goofy heel.
Right.
Like Chad Gable's a goofy heel. He likes to
Yeah.
make fun of himself. He gets over the top with the way he says stuff. It doesn't help that, like I said a couple weeks ago, there is starting to be a blur in the line of heel and babyface. Yep. Everybody's hitting people from behind,
But not in the Attitude Era type way. Just
well, even the Attitude Era. If we're talking about like Stone Cold, is a prime example of a heel that's a babyface. Well, when you think about it, Stone Cold never hit anyone from behind.
Oh, absolutely not.
He would turn him around, let him see him, give him the double bird, stun him, right? Because that's a very important distinction. If you're a good guy, you don't cheat to win. You're in it for it being a competition. If you're a bad guy, you cheat to win because you're in it for the money or whatever. You're going to do whatever it takes. That's kind of that's what it is on that level. And there's a lot of people, and I've had conversations with people where they're like, well, you don't need a heel to have a match. It's like you don't need a heel to have a match unless you want to tell a story in the ring that's different than this is a competition. And even with that, somebody has to cut a corner to make it interesting. Because if not, you're just watching acrobatics.
See, and that's one thing that I'm kind of, I think you agree. I do think you, for the most part, do. You do need that. You need both sides.
Yeah, you got to have something.
Unless it's something that's been built up to, and you just want to see these two guys that are that great. You know, just battle each other. Which there's very few guys that you really want to see that just wrestle each other. You want that story.
Yeah. It's always better when you've got one guy that you would pay money to see get the shit kicked out of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got another guy that you would pay money to see him kick the shit out of him. And that's the perfect thing, and you're ready for it. It's not Hogan and Andre. there's a lot of people that say Hulk Hogan isn't the best wrestler in the world, and I'm like, okay, but at the time he was, and him versus Andre was a very big thing because Andre was there, Hogan was there. I wanted to see the match, would have done anything to do it. That hasn't really happened to me in a long time. Stone Cold and The Rock.
That's what I was going to say. Rock, Stone Cold, or even Hogan Rock.
Yeah. I mean that even started out shifting the gears. That whole match, they're like, well, let's just make this go and we'll make it good.
I thought it was great how in that match you saw them lock eyes and you saw them two make that connection.
Yeah. And you didn't see anybody mouth, I guess you're the one going to be the heel or the face. Right. They were just like,
okay.
And it's all right, let's do this.
These fans are behind Hogan.
And they did it. They did it. It was good. You couldn't predict that. That's good stuff. That's something that the guys today are going to miss. I mean, they're going to try to bring him back. So I'm a heel. I'm going to try to bring him back to me being a heel. Why not just lean into it? It's kind of like the stupid thing that would happen when I was in the ring with people, and they're like, they're going slow, and I'm like, why are you going slow? What's going on? And then we get backstage, and they're like, oh man, I really hurt my leg. I'm like, why didn't you why did you not sell your leg? And then I would have grabbed the leg, and you would have hurt more because I was grabbing the leg, but you don't have to sell.
Use it. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of silly stuff, but yeah. I was just making up shit to talk about because.
Well, another thing I did have to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you think about them releasing Strowman?
You know,
a lot of guys got released, but that was one I did not see coming. I don't get it.
I don't know if there was something behind the scenes or something because I don't do that. I'm not going to look at the rags.
Oh, me neither. Obviously, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I expected you to give me an answer, Bill.
The question I would have is if it's maybe his heart wasn't in it. I mean, the thought of I've seen him say, "I'm not lacing up boots for any other organization. If I'm not in WWE, I'm not doing it." Well, that to me says that maybe the passion was for WWE.
Yeah. See, that sounds like to me he's just trying to be loyal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if the passion was for WWE wrestling and any other wrestling, the passion wasn't for wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe that showed in backstage attitude or something like that, where it was like, you know what, it's time for Braun to move on. And when you think about what they've been using him at, like, you got one way you can put a guy like him. You've got to make him a baby face. You give him the train thing, you run him around and all that stuff, but you're going to hit a wall.
He needs to be a monster and stay that way.
You're going to hit a wall. And if you hit that wall, you're going to have to go with everybody has to be afraid of him. It's going to be the Lars Sullivan type thing, all with just Braun, which I take Braun over Lars Sullivan. But it's the same thing like with Miro. Miro, you get him in goofing, playing video games, and it doesn't mean as much as when, like last week, watching him beat up the Evil Uno. Like Evil Uno, I was like, okay, this match doesn't seem like it should be one that goes a long time. But Evil Uno, it looked really good. The match was really good. Everything went to plan. They kind of botched a little bit of a turnbuckle spot that they had where Miro ripped off the top turnbuckle, exposed it, and he's the one that went header into it. It was botched and they were too far away from it, so it looked a little weird. Shit happens. But to me, that was such a compelling thing because Miro was real in that he was in there to fight, to injure, to win.
Right.
And Evil Uno was real in that he was going against the odds and trying to come up with something, and people were coming out cheering for him and stuff, and the crowd was into it, which the crowd is going to be a big deciding factor for me watching wrestling again. I'm excited to have the crowd back because I can feel vindicated by some of the things that I like, and also I can hear their reaction and go, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Right, even if we say we didn't like that, you're like, well, hey, obviously you're wrong. This is working. Yeah.
Just like everybody said John Cena was the worst wrestler ever, and I'm like, okay, because I'm hearing half the crowd say Cena sucks and half the crowd going fucking Cena. That's 100% of the crowd. I defy you to find somebody else that's doing that now.
And 75% of the crowd wearing some neon colored shirt.
That's true. That's true. But it's like Cena did not suck. Cena was fucking awesome, and he had everybody on either side. So that works out pretty well. I mean, I went to a place. I went in with an organization. I wrestled with them. I helped him out talking about some wrestling. I let him rent the ring and stuff like that. And I went over to the party they had to watch one of the pay-per-views. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching all these indie guys. And they're all sitting around talking about how much Cena sucks and it doesn't belong to be on TV. And it's Kane and Cena, and they're doing something, and I'm like, are you not paying attention? Like, listen, son. Ladies and little whippersnappers, pencil neck geeks. Back in my day, if you had the entire crowd either hating you or loving you, you had the entire crowd paying for a fucking ticket, and that's what this is all about. So shut your fucking mouth. It's really true. That's what it is. If people are paying for their ticket,
do you listen to his podcast often? By the way,
who?
Cornette's.
No.
You know, you sound just like him. Your ideas and thoughts. You guys are so. You ever listen to it? Are they?
I've listened to little excerpts of things that he said.
Yeah, your guys' minds are a lot alike when it comes to.
Well, I mean, it's true. The whole thing is money. If you're not making money and nobody, you talk about ratings. Like, well, it's not about money; it's about ratings. What the fuck do you think ratings are? You ignorant fuck.
Right. Well, even that anymore, ratings are kind of hard to even judge anything by. You don't know what a rating is anymore.
You don't know who's watching. You don't know when it's coming, and you know, it's on a scale that probably needs to be updated. Has been for a long time, but and I think it's indicative of the thing that I've been saying about a real wrestling fan. A real wrestling fan, you're not going to get watching a lot of AEW because of the tongue in cheek of AEW, because of the flip flop and fly and flips for flip's sake,
Orange
and
Cassidy.
Dives for dives sake, and I have a controversial view on Orange Cassidy.
I know.
I like Orange Cassidy because the goofy shit that he does is to his detriment. I could be okay with that.
View. I do.
But if he came and started kicking people slow kicking people in the ankles, and then they went to clothesline him, and he ducked the clothesline and continued to kick him in the ankles, and they fell down, I'd be like, done with this shit.
Well, my only thing with him is, isn't it? Which I thought with Miro too, which I was wrong. But once you make him look silly like that, how are you gonna make him not look silly? Well, they did it with Miro. They turned him around, but I don't see how you do with Cassidy.
Yeah, well, you could do it. You could do it with high profile wins,
unless you turn him into a heel and he's cheating, and because
high profile wins like against Chris Jericho, but not in a mimosa match where you knock somebody into a vat of fucking orange juice. But you could do that with, and also making him struggle to quit doing the gimmicky shit that's to his detriment. Right. Making him struggle not to put the hands in the pants. But the problem is you're going to lose that kitsch because it suffers from the same thing that like somebody who's got like an outstanding move that they do. But that's really all they have. So I'm going to say Petey Williams because it illustrates a little bit of a point. I'm not down on Petey Williams at all.
What's that move called?
The Canadian Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Okay. You just see how many people do the Canadian Destroyer now because it was an awesome flip-tastic thing that's acrobatic and looks devastating.
Yeah.
Defies the laws of physics.
SmackDown announcer just get hit with that a couple weeks ago.
But it defies the laws of physics, and it's goofy for somebody like me, and that's my personal preference. But if as a what the hell just happened move, that's what it is. Petey gets in there, does the move to somebody, and people are like, look at that. And then sooner or later it becomes, hey, this is the guy that does that move I was telling you about. And then you don't do the move and you've shit on your fans.
And if he gets a roll-up win and be like, really?
Yeah, but I wanted to see the move, right? And the move's not going to happen for me.
Oh, you mean the victory didn't mean nothing?
Right.
Yeah, right.
So in that case, is Petey over or is the move over?
Right.
And that's the real problem. People get the move over, and that's what it becomes. And that's why people steal the move, because it's a great fucking move. That they like to do it. They like the way the fans react to it. It's something you never seen before. The vertebraker. Yeah. When they started using the vertebraker, if somebody would have said, we're going to get you in the vertebraker, you fucking are not. You absolutely are not going to put me on your back and plummet my head back to the earth unprotected. You are not going to do that. But it's an effective move that nobody's seen, and it grabs a certain crowd. But what you're grabbing are those people that hold on to that kitsch. Like when the kid puts his hands in his pockets, you're grabbing hold of that kitsch. And if the kid stops putting his hands in his pockets, you're going to lose those fans.
Yep.
Because like if he's not putting hands in his pockets, if he's not being Orange Cassidy, I got nothing to do with him. Well, what that tells me is no one's there for Orange Cassidy. People are there for an idiot putting his hands in his pants. Not an idiot. I don't think he's an idiot.
But that's what I meant by if you start doing that with him, how do you turn that around?
Right. But the second that he stops doing that, he becomes a real wrestler, and you have to change the persona. You have to get it into
And he kind of starting
else.
over then?
Yeah, so he'd be starting over with everything because he's dropped his fan base. Because all the people that watch that expect a certain thing, and if they don't get that thing, they're like, I don't know. You have to come up with something different, and you don't. And you're right. It would be tough to not do that. And I like the kid's work, unless it's with Chris Jericho, because there's something with those two that doesn't jive, right? The Mimosa match aside, where I didn't watch it, but the end of it seemed like it was okay. The regular matches they've had on TV have just been a clusterfuck. And I think it's the two styles. It's hard for them to go. Yeah, it's hard for them to go. It's like there's a couple of the ladies that when they're in there, I'm like, this is clusterfuck. It's going to be a clusterfuck. I'm ready. Dr. Britt Baker kicks ass. I like her in every aspect of everything that she's doing, but there are people that she gets in there with that it is a clusterfuck. Sheeta, it's a clusterfuck. That Big Swole, everybody she's ever in with is a clusterfuck. It's not good, and I don't know. Maybe it's the thing that, like, if you've got a new product and you want to hype it, you say this is the best new thing on the market when it's not. Io Shirai, but that's just
There's our
that works it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just we need to mark. There's one thing I think I'm going to do is I'm watching wrestling. I'm going to put up a statistic for the super kick amount for
no shit.
we've been on here last, and then the other one is how many times I say Io Shirai isn't great.
We're used to it.
But yeah, you're going to lose that kitsch, and I think that is what's keeping wrestling from growing back to where it was. I mean, first of all, the personalities aren't there, and we need to grow personalities. We need to grow MJF. We need to grow these guys that can talk. FTR, the Revival, you grow them. Get them out of the fucking faction. Put them like they were before. Come in, kick ass, take names. If you've ever heard those dudes on the mic, good shit.
Yeah.
They talk really well. They don't need the supporting cast. As a matter of fact, having the supporting cast is bad because you have to get the people who aren't that great on the mic equal opportunity, and everybody's in the ring, so it's not great. But grow those guys. Get them out there. Like Miro. Don't put him on the mic. Don't talk about his video games or anything like that.
Right.
Bring him to the ring. Have him toss
somebody's
the
ass.
belt over the top. Get in the ring. Boss people around. Kick people's ass. Break arms, legs, whatever. Get it going. It's good. You're going to flip on this, but Young Bucks, leave them heel. They are good heels.
Yeah,
The shit that they
are
do in the
heels.
ring, I don't agree with. But when Nick Jackson is walking around fucking doing his little strut thing and putting his face with grew the facial hair, good fucking heel. As a face, he was just standing there. He was bland. It was hard.
My problem with them too is I have a hard time when I'm watching. I forget their names sometimes. Which
Matt.
ones? You know?
Yeah.
So
Matt Jackson he's the bigger one, but kind of shorter. Nick Jackson is the more acrobatic one with the long hair. But
I just go by how far back their hairline goes.
Nick's is having he's got what I got right here. He's getting a little bit there, and he's got it grown over and combed back. But that's why they're wearing the headbands and shit. I forgot I had headphones on.
One of them has a normal hairline,
Yeah.
and the other one has
Widow's Peak,
Yeah.
going back a little bit.
not to here.
Gaia.
see, kind of like what you were saying with Miro. I think Nakamura is another guy I think should be that way. He shouldn't be talking.
No.
He sounds like a fool when he's on the mic.
Right.
I mean, he just does, and he's not built like that, but he's got skill, and
Yeah,
he could be the dominating type. He's got
And
different
I don't
style.
even think it's the language barrier.
No.
I think it's just that
No,
his style of
yeah.
talking on the mic is not.
He looks funny.
It's probably why we don't see Keith Lee right now, because when he's talking on the mic, it's like, I am Keith Lee. It's like, dude, this does not match what you're trying to do, what they're trying to do with you. And that's probably, that may be what they're working on him with. I don't know. Or he's sitting at home waiting for his contract to end. Who knows? Which may be positive.
Maybe.
But who knows? Not for his wallet, but either way, positive for wrestling. Maybe he can make a wallet.
Maybe.
I know if he was available and I had a show, I'd want him on my show. Him and Dijakovic, let them tear it down again.
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, that was good shit. On NXT when I was watching that was great stuff. And
The
that
shit,
was
they were
all in
killing
the
each
ring.
other in PWG and all that shit too.
But that was all in the ring.
Yeah.
They very rarely did any backstage stuff. And what happened when they started doing with Keith Lee and Cross? They had to do some theatrical bullshit to make it compelling, which Dijakovic and Keith Lee didn't need that.
See, Keith Lee's another one. I think he should be not a baby. He should be a dominating guy because he's mean. I mean, he's mean looking, and he looks very physical in the ring.
Looks the part, moves like a cat. Great stuff. Everything you can get behind, except for his voice.
Except for his talking.
And the cadence of his
Or he could have a mouthpiece. He could have a Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Somebody give him a mouthpiece and let him just work.
Yeah, that's the perfect use for that is to get that in there. Not like why do you have MJF in a faction with Tully Blanchard? Tully Blanchard was never known to be the mouthpiece
Never.
Of anything,
Or
but that's
the
what
main,
he's there for.
Or the main power
Right.
behind any faction.
Right.
He was a piece. And,
Oh my God!
Oh,
I'm talking about a lot about AEW, and like I said, it's become my favorite thing, and that's why. But my favorite wrestler, a guy that I like to pattern a little bit of my style after, Arn Anderson, brought his son to the ring, and it just looked like Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
It looked like a skinny Arn Anderson, and I've got hope. I hope this kid's good.
Right?
He looks almost exactly like his dad. As a matter of fact, somebody on Twitter went back and found a picture from the 80s of Arn Anderson in some knee-high shorts and a collared shirt. Well, his son was wearing knee-high shorts and a collared shirt, and they're like, this is the same picture. Because he does. He looks a lot like his dad. So I've got hope. Got hope to see something good from that. I hope it's not just
him. I'm going to have to look him up. I hadn't seen him.
The strikes were impressive.
Yeah,
that
when he put him down,
Yeah.
he's throwing the punches, and it didn't look horrible. But I mean, anybody can throw a punch, especially if it's not a gimmicked punch.
Oh yeah.
Don't know what the other kid looks like. I don't know, but so that's a promising thing that I'm looking forward to. See how that goes.
Who was it this merged with, or maybe not merged, but they're doing work with New Japan?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's either AEW or Impact, one of the two.
Oh, AEW and Impact are kind of doing
they're-
a thing together. And
They're all in bed together.
One of them's bringing in New Japan.
NJP. I think I saw a major New Japan guy in AEW for one match against Moxley. I can't remember who it was. And if I try to say it, everybody will call me an asshole because New Japan suffers from the same thing that
Yuji Nagata.
I think
it
that
was
could
Nagata.
help.
Yeah, I think it was Nagata. Okay.
I think that could really help New Japan, though,
Yeah.
to get them over here more.
Well, I think even out everything would be right.
Fuck it, let everybody wrestle for everybody.
Right.
That's never going to happen.
No,
Break
it's
it
because
up.
Vince won't let it happen.
Yeah, break it. It's like now we'll get back into the. There's a thing, an argument called Godwin's law, and that is in any debate, it's inevitable that someone brings up Hitler. I think in wrestling we need a law that in any debate it's inevitable that people bring up the territories.
Yeah.
Go back to the territories and like, okay, no, I don't think that's ever going to happen again. But if it did, okay. But I think in order for if that were to happen, we would have to tear down what is to have nothing and then build it up.
Start
from there.
over.
I think during the 90s and 2000s, I think that would have worked.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
when everybody was on the same cable, not when you had 35 different things you were watching. Now you have to spend $500 a month to watch everything you want to watch, so you just don't. But back when all you had was DirecTV and everything that was on TV is on DirecTV.
Yeah.
Then I think it could have worked then because you can turn to anything you want to watch and.
That's how I ended up watching ECW because I had a DirecTV channel that I paid for. I paid for a sports package that gave me the Sunshine Network, and that had ECW on. And I was like, well, I'll watch ECW, and I watched. I was like, there are certain points of this that's cartoony as shit, like the old WWE was, but other things are just compelling stuff. I think it was I tuned in the middle of the Raven Tommy Dreamer feud.
Oh, shit.
And that was good.
When I first learned of ECW, it was because of you and Justin and Chris, I believe. And you guys had a video or death matches or something hard. I hated it because all it was Terry Funk, I believe, a bunch of glass and just barbed wire, and I hated it.
That was Justin had that. I hated that stuff too.
And I'll go back now and I'll watch some of that stuff, and it's cool to watch, but I still think I would still watch that every week. Right. I mean, shock value, awesome. They had some awesome characters, but to watch it every week, it wasn't a storyline based thing. It was a shock value.
Yeah.
And
Well, for ECW, the thing that I appreciated about the most was I was so disillusioned when WWE went to the cartoons, went to the superhero gimmicks and the fucking Skinner and Dr. Isaac Yankem, and everybody had a profession but not a name. Yeah. There were no people anymore.
Right.
So even The Undertaker transcended all that, was The Undertaker all his life, kicked ass, one of the best wrestlers ever. Yeah. But he transcended the bullshit and kept it going, and it worked for him. No one else did it work for. There's no other person. Bastion Booker, all those guys were just like, come on, guy, this isn't what I am.
Mantar.
And not Mantar. And not saying that this is in the same time frame. It's not in the same time frame. But what I appreciated about ECW was they didn't treat me like a kid. I wasn't a little boy coming to watch wrestling. They treated me like an adult. Yeah. They made real situations and pregnancies and stuff like that. It was a little over the
Crucifixions.
top. Yeah, a little over the top. But
still, you'd rather see that than a girl giving birth to a hand.
Yeah, they cussed. They had adult content.
Right.
There was a girl, scantily clad women coming out and just being real stuff that you would see every day in your life. Well, some of us do, some of us don't. Anyway, but it made me feel like this is something that I could be into, and it's not trying to say, okay, it's regular good versus evil. This was competition, and all of the stuff off the top of that was also competition. It was based in that. The Dudleys were kind of a goof at first, and then they transcended the goofiness and became a badass tag team.
Weren't they like a nerd?
People. Yeah,
kind of nerdy at first.
He was doing
Taped
like the stuttering gimmick, and
Bubba had Bubba had a stutter.
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, it was, and they had.
That's when they had Spike, wasn't it?
Spike was in there for a very long time, yeah. But it treated me like a real person. So I think that my disappointment in the 80s / early 90s WWE with Isaac Yankem and all that bullshit went on the opposite with ECW, and I really enjoyed that. And also ECW kind of laid credence. I mean, WCW stole from that. They were like, okay, we can treat our people with a little respect that they're adults and put these higher content in there. And WWF at the time went, that's how you're winning? Well, let's see how we do that. And they did it and brought an edge.
Yeah, I thought they did it better. Like the Brian Pillman Austin thing.
Yeah.
It was that over the top.
Went to his house with a gun, man.
That's realistic.
Right.
That stuff happens.
Took a gun into his house, man. That just didn't happen in wrestling anymore. But it started to make it good. But they still told that story in the ring.
Yep. Right.
They told a little of the story outside of the ring, but it started in the ring and ended in the ring, and that's what it is. Nowadays, we're not doing that. Nope. We're not starting in the ring. We're not ending the ring. We got people puking up.
Hell, half time they don't even get to the ring. Half time they don't ever end up with a match.
Yeah, you go to the ring and then somebody laughs and things explode, and that's the end of it. I mean, kind of goofy.
Getting chased by dolls.
Yeah,
chased by dolls. Which
I like that, but I'm a big horror fan, so I think it's fun.
Yeah. So it was Chucky. It's kind of an off-play on Chucky, but I call it
or
Fuck
Annabelle.
Because that's what it felt like. It's like, come on now. It's like Shayna Baszler walking up to that girl and going, I'm not afraid of your fucking doll. That's a real moment, and I loved it. And then the horror thing.
She's afraid of the doll.
It's like, oh, fuck me. Come on. Just say, I'm calling your bluff. You're not this person. Here you go. And then have a fight.
All right.
And see who wins the fight. And even if it's Alexa Bliss, cool. But I think you're hurting your fan base by trying to get people to stay with us.
Kind of insulting them.
Yeah. Swamp matches and where somebody hits themselves with a shovel. And come on. Just stop. Dear WWE, stop. About your current programming. Stop.
This is a little off-show. I had a question. Something I thought about.
Go ahead.
Why is it when people want to go through that, who they consider the greatest of all time is, why is The Undertaker never mentioned?
I don't know.
Never.
Yeah,
I think he should be.
I do too.
I think he's right up there. I mean,
Look at how long he did it, and not just like Flair and Hogan, who once every 4 or 5 months would come back and do something. Every week, he was there and it was relevant, and people never stopped caring.
Yeah,
nobody booed when he came out as a baby.
Think of this fact. If you look back on Hulk Hogan's career, who I think is arguably the best professional wrestler that has ever been. He took it from where he was to where he is.
Well, him and the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Now is how I feel
think about the story. Think about the story of Hulk Hogan's career, and then looking back on the story and everybody else telling the story, you get a lot of Hogan was the best because he bitched, he whined, he moaned, he complained, he threw a fit, he pushed his leverage around, he did whatever he had to do to get things done, and he was just a little fucking whiny baby ass bitch. That's what a lot of people say. And there's other people who say that dude could carry a match, and when all of those important things come in, everybody agrees those important things are what made him what they are. Now think about the story from The Undertaker. When they say, oh, he had the best WrestleMania record ever, the streak was a thing that had to go up, and people say, how did he get that? And it's respect. Yeah. Not he bitched, he whined, he moaned, he complained. He actually helped the people who bitched, whined, and moaned, complained to get things going. So when you take a look at what's going on, I mean, even Bret Hart, people are saying Bret Hart was the greatest, but Bret Hart people are also saying he was a diva. I want to take a side note here in a second, but he was a diva and he liked it the way he liked it, and he'd take his ball and go home if he wasn't happy. Shawn Michaels, the epitome of whatever.
Right.
I mean, even he is like coming out going, yeah, it was fucking bad, man. You're like, it was horrible. That's a legit injury. I shouldn't make fun of it, but still, it's just the way Shawn Michaels is right now. But and The Undertaker, respect. That's all there was about it. It's just respect.
You don't ever hear a bad story.
No, and people were like, well, I just wonder how Taker would do that. Looking at the documentaries and stuff behind the scenes when he's an older guy and all the guys coming up to him and like, man, I just wanted to say hi and stuff, and him taking the time to go, yeah, man, I'll talk to you about your matches and how everything goes. Like, just pure respect. When you think about that, if he's not on top of the list, I mean,
so you think he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore?
Oh, definitely, definitely, without question. Just from what he put up.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, good stuff. Here's my tangent, though. Okay. So I told you earlier about Arn Anderson's kid coming out, right? Well, he came out with Cody Rhodes. So they announced, hey, we're gonna introduce you to Arn Anderson's kid. And they said it was about Arn Anderson. They said he's an author and all this stuff. He gave all of his credentials. And Cody Rhodes' music hits, and he comes out of the middle column like he always has, and he's all by himself. And then he goes to the middle of the stage, and he looks over to the corner, and he waves Arn Anderson and the kid in. And I'm like, how much of a fucking diva do you have to be to have your own fucking... You're bringing in another dude and two other dudes, one of which has been in the goddamn business longer than you have been alive, and you got to fucking wave them in from the corner so you can have your goddamn moment in the middle. How much of a fucking diva do you have to be for that? That was horrible. I was so mad. I was like, oh, this is where I get to see Arn Anderson. Well, where's Arn Anderson and the kid? Are they down there somewhere? Did they forget to hit the lift on those two? No, he stops and he goes, come on in. Like, how's that conversation even go? It's like, I'm gonna let you in. You guys stay here. I'll wave you in. And you go, what the fuck?
I'll give you your cue.
Let me get my shine.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, that's a very, very common thing that happens in wrestling when you're arguing with an idiot that doesn't understand what he's talking about. Anyway,
get your shine, goddammit.
I always loved it. The kids would be like, they're just like, hey, we want to talk about how the match is going to go. It's like, yeah, you're not going to stand up much.
Yeah.
What?
You're selling.
You're not going to stand up much. You're going to sell and sell and sell and sell.
I've actually heard you say that. I'm 330 pounds, dude. You're 125 pounds.
You're not standing
sweating
up.
Or soaking wet.
You're not going to stand up much, bro. You're going to come out the victor, and people are going to love you for it, and they're going to fucking cheer the hills. But, well, how am I going to get my shine? Explain to me what shine is. Well, I got to get in this move. I got to get in that move. I got to get that move. I got to get that. No, you don't. You ain't got to get any of that. I'll show you.
They just haven't seen the movie yet, bro.
Yeah. It's like, come, I'll show you. I'll show you how this is done, kid. Let's go. Anyway, Yeah, I just wanted to bring up as like a diva alert because that was
Absolutely.
I don't know whose idea. I don't know if it was Cody's idea. I don't know if it was
Let's
Tony
be
Khan's
honest.
idea.
Let's be honest.
That was Cody.
But that was poor. That was poor form. That was bad. I mean, I understand he's Dusty Rhodes' kid. Much respect there, but still, that was bad.
Yeah, it's Arn Anderson and his kid.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, come on, give it a break. So nice.
My favorite moment in wrestling this last week was the Miz careening toward the ring because Morrison just let go.
Left him at the top of the ramp. He's in a wheelchair.
It was
and
hilarious.
the look on his and it hit right when the 4K slow motion thing hit. So Miz is like, I'm just dying. It's funny. It's good stuff. See people like him not getting enough recognition. That's a guy you can recognize. He's doing good stuff.
What's the next pay-per-view?
I don't know. Next pay-per-view is Hell in a
Hell in a
Cell, but I don't
Cell.
know when it is. There's a pay-per-view on tonight.
Hell in a Cell's next week.
Pay-per-view, but NXT's In Your House is on tonight.
Hell in a Cell's next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Rey Mysterio is going to be lawn-jarted into many sides of the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
What is next week?
And that'd be okay. But yeah, it's next week. I don't know if there's anything else I'm looking forward into there. Maybe some of these people that. Why does everybody need a talk show? Why does everybody need a talk show? That's WWE. Why does everybody
Most
need a
of
talk
them
show?
aren't even interesting.
Right.
Ding Dong Hello. What the fuck is that?
I don't even know what that is.
Let's just stop. It's
Bailey's.
Bailey has this saying that she started. It's Ding Dong Hello.
Yeah.
And now
Ding dong, hello.
she dresses up like Sally Jesse Raphael from the 80s, and she's got a door that people have to come through, and it's a talk show. Miz has a talk show. Get it? Been established.
Bliss had one.
But KO's got a talk show. Miz has got a shock show. Alexa
Jericho
Bliss has a
had
talk
one.
show. It's too much. And AEW, why does everybody got to have a faction? Why does everybody? I just saw a new faction they made, which is called the Wingmen, and it's Peter Avalon, some dude I've never fucking seen, Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother, and some big guy to round it out, because that's what we need in faction is the big bruiser guy, right? So they're a faction now, and they're like called out Orange Cassidy, and they're like, okay, they're calling out Orange Cassidy to go with another faction, which is the Best Friends, which is.
Trent and Chuck and
But everybody's got a faction. Inner Circle, Pinnacle, Team Taz. There's 50,000. One thing I can say is AEW, please do me a favor and let Jake Roberts hang out in the back every now and then. Let's find something. If you want to use Jake for something, use him for something else. Lance Archer does not need Jake Roberts.
And you're not going to wear people out from seeing him. You're just going to get.
I watched the first squash match that I've seen since like the 90s, and it was good stuff. That Lance Archer came in, grabbed a dude nobody ever heard of, beat the shit out of him. He got a few moves in because that's how you make it exciting. They put him in the blackout, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and left. Didn't raise a hand. Just got out the goddamn ring and left. And Roberts did nothing but stand there. So it's appearing as always Jake Roberts.
Right.
So let him. You want to pay him.
Does he bring a snake out still?
He brought the snake out in the pay-per-view. He brought a bag of something that they said was a snake, but it's the deadest goddamn snake I ever saw because he didn't move. And then somebody grabbed it and like fucking chucked it.
Oh, geez.
And then Jake was like, he chucked the snake. Well, it's better than what he did when he was us and he had the snake and he used it as his dick and was jerking off everybody.
and put it down my
He
pants.
put it down and tried to put it down Chris's pants as well.
Yeah.
Like I got out of that battle royal before he even showed up, because I knew what he was doing before the battle royal.
Yeah, I knew too. Yeah, we were all up there. We were all up there.
Guarding his shit.
I got called down. I got called down as a bodyguard because
at the end of the night. Yeah.
he was afraid of what was going to happen. Not Jake, but the promoter was afraid of what might happen. And when I got down there, I was like, "Why? What's Jake Roberts going to do? Oh, he's doing what?" And I'm the bodyguard? Okay. maybe this will go better than I think it's going to. Hey, it did. It was okay. And we got a nice story out of it that we've told on this podcast before. Check back episodes for that story, and also look for the Halloween, the Kentucky story. I talked for an hour about Kentucky. It was awesome. I loved
Raven
it.
story was good. Did we do the Raven story?
I don't think we've done a lot of the Raven story. No, I don't think we've done any of it. I don't think we've done any of it.
There was a lot to that story.
There was. We'll save that for another time, though. And parts you can find on
trying
other
to
podcasts.
tell me how to gig.
Raven? Yeah.
Now, did he tell you the same way we knew?
He's like, just straight up and down. Just
No,
so I was like, no.
No, well, if you don't give a shit about your forehead,
That's
absolutely.
why his face was like a cheese grater.
Yeah. It's like when you frown, parts of you don't. But yeah, he's a good dude. A great dude, man. I've never...
A little quirky, but he was very nice.
In wrestling, I've never met anybody. George the Animal Steel is the only other person I could say all positive things about. Raven, 100% positive stuff.
Snuka?
Yeah, Snuka was okay.
For me?
I didn't get to talk to him much. Sheila got to talk to him.
He didn't talk to me.
He looked at her like she was a mark because he
He
didn't know any different, which kind of,
Okay.
He was outside smoking, and I said something, and he just went...
It's
and
this
then
girl
went
talking
back
to
to
me.
smoking.
He might have been wondering if he wanted to kill you.
Yeah. The thoughts and opinions of Hammer aren't necessarily the thoughts and opinions of the Monkey Flip podcast. But yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, you know what? We for not having a lot of shit to say, we have been going for a while.
Fun one.
And my thought of wanting to put one in the books and not edit it down in any way has probably gone by the fucking wayside. I'm going to have to look at this and see what's going on. Well, yeah, I didn't even think about it. We got the whole, we did a half hour on the snacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Watch that. We'd appreciate you watching that. We appreciate you no matter what.
We absolutely do.
If you can hear my voice right now, I appreciate what you're doing. It's awesome. But support. Hit the like and subscribe down there. Hit the bell. Do all the stuff that tells YouTube that we're worth watching, because that's really what it's for. You get stuff out of it. We get stuff out of it. YouTube gets stuff out of it. It's all positive. Good positive stuff.
And remember, let us know. If you want to see, hear, talk about anything, let us know.
Yeah, questions at monkey-flip.com and producer at monkey-flip.com if you want to tell us how much we suck or whatever. I don't get to read those emails. Producer reads the emails, so I don't care about that. We're going to try to come up with
and our producer will not sugarcoat it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won't. She'll tell you where to go if you tell her where to go.
And she'll tell us where to go if we're wrong, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's true. We give her a lot of shit, but a lot of this wouldn't work without her. Mostly me. But there you go. And it would be my choice as well.
You would certainly have less clothing on without me.
Yes, because I would be. I have said many a times, if I were not married to my wife, I'd be in someone's basement in my underwear playing Nintendo, and that truer words have never been spoken. So that's just me. I default to the easiest path. And
So I guess I owe Sheila for my best friend, because I would not know you if you was in your basement in your underwear.
I wouldn't have done anything. I'd just be chilling out down there. That's not 100% true, because the COVID has made me realize that I'm a social animal.
Yeah.
A lot more than I think that I was. Like today, I was sitting at the breakfast table at a restaurant, and she looked at me and was like, "Are you okay? What?" And I realized I'm smiling. And the reason I'm smiling is because I'm out in public with people. There are people that I can see and interact with and say hello to. Even talking to the waitress, it's like, that was awesome. Wanted to ask her about her tattoos, but decided not to, because those could be a personal thing. I didn't want to do that. And wife's there.
And you also
she knows I
think
flirt.
she's been in lockdown, too, so she might not know how to take a compliment.
Actually, she might be like, "Fuck you, dude. My fucking tattoos." Like, no, Barbara, that's not what I was going for. But I flirt with waitresses all the time. She knows I do it. It's something my dad did, so I picked up on it.
Also, I have a hard time recognizing flirting.
Yeah, pizza
so
guy could be coming in. He could start like twirling his penis right in front of her, and she'll be like, "I don't know, he had something in his hand." Yeah, it seemed okay. I was like, "No, dude, it's like that dude's like, hi, how are you?" And I'm like, "There's no reason for that man to talk to you like that. Hi, how are you is something, the way he said
should
it.
not care how you are.
Yeah, it's like, hi, you
Long
get
as you
pizza
paid.
a lot, right? You get a lot of pizza. You need somebody to help you eat that pizza. I got a large pepperoni for you right now. Want some hot cheese? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Anyway,
recognize.
she doesn't get it.
There's certain social cues that I do not get, and flirting is one of them.
See, and I just think everybody flirts with me. I just,
I think we do with each other when you go up there and you start talking to somebody and you know, then we'd high five each other and go, yeah, we know. We can do that. I've done that to her and she'd be like, what are we doing this for? What's going on? That dude would have totally, you could have totally banged that dude. She's like, what? I didn't hear. What did he say? What was different? And like, dude, you totally could have hung out with that chick and you guys might have actually gotten to one of those camp moments. And she's like, what? No way. I'm like, no, I'm telling you right now, that totally could have happened. So, yeah, she doesn't. She's clueless when it comes to that kind of thing, which is good for me, I guess.
that is very good for you.
Yeah, because
Not that it would matter, but that is good for you.
I'm kind of direct, so got it there. So, anyway, like we said,
It's good to be with you guys again.
I think somebody should take over the like and subscribe duties that would give it.
Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications.
Yeah, see, because he can do it seriously. I can't do it. I got to be like and subscribe because it just feels cliche to me.
I think I could do it.
But I really want to.
I
Yeah,
watch
if you want
everybody.
to.
Let's see it.
So,
Well, he did pretty good, but let's see what you
okay.
got.
So, like and subscribe
Okay,
and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post new videos.
sweet.
New video.
And that's the only reason.
Very
so
good, actually.
It's the only reason, so you know.
Good
Not
voice.
that we want the YouTube algorithm to think we're worth watching. It's
I watch a lot of YouTube.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I do.
I can tell how far down the rabbit hole I've gone when I've got like 15 browsers open with YouTube videos in it because I hit shift and click on a video because I want to go back because there's other videos on that tab I want to watch. Yeah, bad. We love you, YouTube.
We so do. Yes, we do.
It's not a try to get. Oh, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, we love you podcasters too.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can check out the YouTube channel if you want to, but we like the audio podcast as well. You know, for those people that don't want to see all our ugly faces, we've got faces for radio. We understand it. So good to go. Cool. And I know there's like about
Speak
3
for
people at this
yourself.
table going, speak for yourself, I'm a sexy motherfucker.
I agree. Actually, I'm surprised that like I have a camera right now. I'm actually a little surprised that the camera is still working as much as I'm shining.
You are pretty glowing. We're still trying to figure out the lighting on this thing. I think this is going to be better than it has been.
Oh, I need to.
But I'm still trying to figure out the lighting. Get it all. These guys are going to be driving home with 2 halos on both sides of their eyes because shining on them. But
Tunnel vision.
yeah, it's like, man, I can't fucking. That's like, is there's a train coming? No, it's the lights still going.
That's the podcast.
Anyway,
Even worse with the ring light.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, we're gonna wrap this guy up and look for us in a couple weeks, maybe. I don't know. Like we've all got some stuff going on, like I said, so we're gonna try to get it done as soon as we can. But we're definitely not gonna do every week. We don't want that. You probably don't want that either. Let's be honest. You probably don't want to see every week an hour worth of us talking about stuff. But we do appreciate you. If you're listening to this, you can hear this. We do appreciate you. We go ahead and give us the questions you want, or if you want us to do something stupid, like we're thinking about doing a hot wings challenge, just because, why not?
And other people are doing it, and it seems to be enjoyable.
Yeah,
So why not?
and I enjoy
and we
that.
like food.
I enjoy the fuck out of them every time they're on. So why don't we do it? Let's do it.
The only thing that I will not do is eat bugs.
Oh, I won't.
No,
I won't
I'm
eat
out.
bugs.
I'm
No
the only
spiders.
person here that'll eat bugs.
No.
I'm out on that.
Oh my god, that's cool. I won't. That just means I don't have to eat
I
bugs.
believe you're the only person that
Yeah,
would
you
eat
are
bugs.
the only
Yeah.
one.
Like
I
there
am
was
not
an
either.
ant on there. I was like, those little little water gnats.
Yeah, I know.
Did they fly right towards your mouth?
Yep.
I just think it's one less gnat in the world.
See, I
Just
don't.
let it
I
go.
think, how am I going to breathe through these next 50 steps?
Yeah, I might just go. Just get him out of there. It's inevitable. He's going. Yeah, it's protein. I'm good. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.
See you next time, guys.
See ya.